Hey, what's going on YouTube? James and Jay Kramer Fitness Protein Review Guy. Today, we are going to go ahead and take a look at Boba Nutrition. And for you budget boba fans, let's just cut through the hype. Is this protein actually legit? Or is it just styling as one? Yeah, it's real. It's made in Vancouver, Canada, and they use whey sourced from the United States. So you're not getting some sketchy white label blend off Alibaba. But here's where the legit status gets fuzzy. There's no third-party testing, no certificate of analysis, and no percent daily value for protein. They toss out phrases like verified by a biomedical engineer, which sounds impressive until you realize that's not the same as being tested by an ISO accredited lab. So, is this thing a scam? Nah, the macros are solid, mix is great, tastes good, and if you're trying to swap out sugary boba tea for something macro friendly, this is a very legit option. Next up is Boba Nutrition Protein Powder third-party tested. Well, here are the facts. They say it's verified by a biomedical engineer, and that's third-party tested. Sounds legit, right? But there's no lab name, no ISO accreditation, no certificate of analysis anywhere, no leucine profile from Informed Choice, nothing from Labdoor, nothing that you can verify. They did send me a profile suggesting that per serving you are getting 2.73 grams leucine, but no lab report, no official stamp. So you have to take it on trust essentially. Now, switching gears, does Boba Nutrition Protein come with a Prop 65 warning? None. As of this review, there are no Prop 65 label on the pouch, no disclosure on the website. That includes all current flavors. Is this thing amino spiked? Well, there's no definitive proof on amino spiking. There are some big time red flags that you should be aware of. One, there's no amino acid profile on the website or on the pouch. That's the first sign of missing transparency. Two, no percent daily value listed for protein on the nutrition facts label, even though that's expected when you're making a protein claim. And three, this one stands out. Flavors are listed twice. For example, in classic milk tea here, they list black tea powder and natural black tea flavor. That's not just flavor layering. Under Canadian labeling laws, natural flavors can legally include amino acids. So if spiking was happening, it would be hidden that way. I have the new rebranded Boba New and the classic Boba Nutrition bag. So you're probably wondering, they're probably the same formula. Well, the original Boba Nutrition was built around 100% whey isolate, no blends, no concentrates, no label games. It's cleaner, lighter, and actually feels like a premium whey product. Flavor, we'll get to that. However, fast forward to the current version, the rebranded Boba New, things shifted a little bit here. You're getting a whey blend, mostly concentrate, a little isolate. Now we talked about the labeling. It gets a little bit more complicated, but just to rehash, you got natural flavors listed twice, which opens up amino inflation concern. Let's break down Boba Nutrition's ingredient profile, starting with the original formula. The bag I have is the old Taro formula, and it's different story from what Boba New is putting out there now. The original formula kept it simple, 100% whey isolate, real flavoring like dry taro and ube, no label gymnastics, no concentrates, no added gums, and no natural flavor blanket statements. Fast forward to Boba New, and we're getting a blend double flavor listing, maltodextrin, a laundry list of texture agents. It's still macro friendly, but that clean label identity, out the door. After looking at the ingredient lists, let's go ahead and look at the nutrition facts, especially with Taro. Let's look at how the numbers stack up between the old Boba Nutrition formula versus the updated Boba New version. Both versions use a 34-gram scoop and clock in at 130 calories. Fats, carbs, sodium, identical. Same goes for sugars and total protein. So what changed? Not much on paper, but here's the issue. The percent daily value for protein is still missing on both versions. That matters because when a product claims 25 grams protein, doesn't show the digestibility or percent daily value, there's no way to verify what kind of protein you're actually absorbing. All right, so we put Boba New in context. So now let's go ahead and compare it to 3 other protein powders that represent different ends of the quality spectrum. First up here, we have Boba Tea Protein. Second, Lunar Lifts. And then finally, third, Asian Roots. All right, let's go ahead and stack it up. Boba Nutrition versus Boba Tea Protein. Both are milk tea flavored. Both market themselves as high protein boba alternatives, and both keep sugar low. But the difference is they are everywhere. Here's what stands out. Boba Tea Protein wins on quality. You get more leucine, more total BCAAs, and quality lists at 50% daily value for protein, which Boba Nutrition skips. Boba Nutrition has the edge on price and calories. It's leaner, lighter, and cheaper. If you're looking for a low sugar milk tea shake, it gets the job done. Still, Boba Tea Protein gives you better muscle building potential. The extra leucine, the extra caffeine, and verified truly grass-fed sourcing give it a major transparency edge. If your goal is cravings and macros on a budget, Boba Nutrition is a solid alternative. But if you want flavor and protein integrity, Boba Tea Protein is worth the upgrade. Next up, Boba Nutrition versus Lunar Lifts. On the surface, these two look like they're playing in the same bubble tea protein space. Once you dig deep, the gap is pretty clear. Here's how they compare on the numbers. Lunar Lifts claims to use New Zealand whey, but from what I've seen so far, there's no evidence of that. No sourcing verification, no certifications, and nothing to confirm it's legit grass-fed or even New Zealand sourced. In fact, Lunar Lifts is a drop shipping brand, low transparency, vague labeling, and short on servings, just 15 per bag. Now, if you're looking for a milk tea protein that's clearly caffeine free, Lunar Lifts does have that niche locked. It's honestly the one edge it holds over Boba Nutrition. In terms of amino acid density, servings, overall value, Boba Nutrition takes this one. It's not perfect, but it gives you more leucine, more servings, and better mixability without pretending to be something it's not to a certain degree. Last up, Boba Nutrition versus Asian Roots. Let's be clear here. This isn't a flavor battle. This is a lifestyle protein versus a lab-backed isolate. Here's how they stack up. Boba Nutrition delivers solid macros, flavor, and creamy milk tea experience, but there's no third-party testing, no percent daily value for protein, and the leucine data isn't lab verified. Asian Roots, on the other hand, is informed protein certified, truly grass-fed sourced, and provides a full amino acid profile. It's unflavored, yes, but it's the benchmark for protein purity. Now let's go ahead and break it down. 3 pros, 3 cons about Boba Nutrition's protein powder, especially if you're here for that boba tea fix. First up, pros. Authentic boba flavor. The classic milk tea hits the black tea notes hard. It's not perfect match for your favorite shop, but it gets surprisingly close to a protein shake. 2, the low-calorie alternative. At 130 calories per scoop, it's one of the leanest ways to satisfy milk tea cravings without loading up on sugar or cream. And then 3, the caffeine kick. Now, with 69 milligrams of caffeine from black tea powder, it delivers that signature milk tea energy without going full pre-workout mode like boba tea protein. The cons: no percent daily value for protein. That's a big one for protein powder using nutrition facts labeling. Skipping the percent daily value is a red flag. It tells us nothing about digestibility or the quality of protein. 2, marketing over substance. Phrases like verified by a biomedical engineer sounds impressive, but they don't replace third-party testing. No COA, no published amino acid profile. We're just vibing. 3, duplicate flavoring raises questions. Listing black tea powder and natural black tea flavor separately under Canadian labeling law, that's perfectly legal, but it creates a loophole for amino inflation. It doesn't confirm amino spiking, but it's something to keep your eyes open to. If you're here for a low-calorie boba with protein, this thing works. But if you want transparency, clean labeling, and third-party verification, this isn't it. Let's get into it. Is 1 serving of Boba Nutrition's protein enough after a workout? On paper, it looks fine. Each serving gives you 25 grams of protein, 2.73 grams of leucine, which technically checks the minimum box for muscle protein synthesis. There's a problem. Those numbers aren't third-party verified, no amino acid breakdown on the label, no COA. It might be enough if the label is telling the truth, but no percent daily value, and the flavor duplication on the ingredient panel, you're flying blind with quality. Milk tea, Taro. So we're gonna go ahead and do the assembly. One Taro boy going in, and then we're gonna go ahead and put one classic milk tea boy going in. All right, let's go ahead, lock her up, shake, lock Taro boy up, shake. All right, so Taro here, this is the one that's 100% isolate before the rebranding. This thing mixes great, as seen here. Boom, Boba New, very similar, not the full allotment. The final written score was based off of this shakeability here. Still fantastic for a multi-way blend, and then still got some little specs there. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the Taro. Cheers. Full transparency here. I've never tried Taro before my whole entire life. I watch a lot of food bloggers and they travel through Asia and Taro keeps on coming off. So I was like, oh, okay, let's just go ahead and give it a try. This Taro with the original formula, for me, this comes off of overly sweet, almost candy-like. And I like eating candy, but I believe the Taro flavor is there. But for me, it's just this old formula of Taro is a little too much for me. If you're someone who's a fan of Taro, comment below, let me know. And if you've tried the new reformulation of Boba New, I want to know, because this flavor of Taro comes off as too sweet. Now, classic milk tea. Cheers. This is very serviceable. Personally speaking, I like boba tea proteins, classic milk tea, a lot better. That version comes off a lot creamier, but the black tea flavor is thick. The natural flavoring in this, they use monk fruit. I don't know, this comes off as a little too sweet, almost too medicinal. There is 69 milligrams of caffeine, so which is, I think, a quarter less than what boba tea protein is offering in their milk tea protein. So I think this is very serviceable, especially if you're looking to save a couple bucks. It's solid. Would I want to buy this flavor again? Probably not. So is Boba Nutrition good? Depends on who you are. If you're looking for a budget-friendly milk tea inspired protein that keeps calories low, this thing delivers. It tastes solid, mixes great, and gives you just enough caffeine to feel like the real thing. It's not meant to compete with clinical recovery formulas like AG and Roots. It's built for a lifestyle, not a max PR. But if you're here for post-workout performance, verified amino profiles, and third-party tested, this isn't it. Now, if you're looking for alternatives to Boba New, we got you covered. As shared, Boba Tea Protein, my opinion, is the best leucine density, offers a nice clean milk tea flavor, and is used as truly grass-fed whey, making it a top pick if you want milk tea taste and muscle recovery support. Now, Lunar Lifts is in the other spectrum. The only caffeine-free option that I've found so far, ideal for anyone who wants a milk tea protein vibe without the stimulant hit. There are major concerns with transparency, but the value may be too much to overlook for people who are on a budget. Finally, Aged in Roots. It only comes in unflavored, but it's the gold standard for protein integrity based on price and value. It's informed protein and choice certified, third-party tested, and built for anyone who prioritizes purity over flavor. Now, what did Boba Nutrition earn for a score? Well, it lands at 25 out of 50%. It's not because it's terrible, it's because it hides too much behind a clean branding and doesn't back its claims with third-party proof. You're paying for the boba tea experience, not certified recovery fuel. It's budget-friendly, low-calorie, leans more lifestyle than lifter. So if you're going to cut back on sugar, ditching overpriced milk tea, and still getting some protein in, this protein has a place on your shelf. Just don't confuse it with the gold standard stuff. Have you tried Boba Nutrition or any other milk tea protein powders? Did it hit the craving or did it fall short? Drop your experience in the comments downstairs. I want to hear what your taste buds think. Now, for the full write-up, label breakdown, amino analysis, and every red flag I found, check out my full Boba Nutrition review at jkramerfitness.com. And if you want to dig deeper, I've got unbiased, unsponsored reviews on over 100 protein powders, all built around transparency and label truth. Both links downstairs. And as always, thanks for sticking with me till the end of another review. I appreciate you. Make it a great day.